to make an
That is
answer
correct.
to you.
That is correct po.
That is the nature of things, Madam Chair.
That is correct.
So wala pa siyang, there is no judgment yet.
That is correct po. And it has been emphasized po in the first hearing that the notice of disallowance
Kaya nga, if
is not yet
questions, for
final.
example, are coming from us, questioning and judging the utilization of the funds of the Vice President, when you yourselves, the rightful office, has yet to receive the explanation, we cannot be more popist than the Pope, Madam Chair. Is it correct?
Madam Chair, as we have said, on our part, the ND is not
No, you are
final.
not answering my question. Kung kayo nga tatanggapin nyo pa lang magsasubmit pa lang if we will be questioning it already from our end, we're like more popist than the Pope, Madam Chair. Am I correct?
I cannot.
Ikaw naman, ba't naman hindi mo masasagot naman yan, napakasimple. Kung ikaw nga, hinihintay mo pa dapat naman nating hintayin, that is the part of due process.
Yes.
Kami naman, naglulundag na kami na nagtatanong. Kaya nga ang sabi ng Vice President, narinig ko, I am already communicating. I am about to communicate with the COA. I think she will do that because that is the process. Hindi naman pwedeng hindi niya sagutin. Kaya nga po ang sinasabi ko, kasi ang dami na pong nagsipagtanong. Lalo na po nung unang hearing, naglulundag po lahat So the nature of a notice of disallowance, Madam Chair, it is yet to be explained. Sa ngayon, hindi pa Kung sakaling ma-explain, Madam Chair, at halimbawa, hindi nyo pinakinggan, the Vice President has the option to go to the COA proper for an appeal.
That is correct.
That is correct. And considering the appeal was dismissed, the Vice President can go to the Supreme Court. Is that correct?
That is correct.
So there
po.
is a whole gamut of process.
That is correct.
Will you
po.
confirm that?
That is correct po, Your Honor.
That is why, can you advise us, including me, whether we are supposed to ask questions, considering that you have not yet received her explanation to your office?
Madam Chair, I am not.
You cannot advise me?
We are not in a position to know the power or the prerogatives of the
No,
House of
I am
Representatives.
telling you already. I am telling you already because we're supposed to ask questions on the budget of the Vice President. But they started asking questions on the 2023 budget, which was subjected to a notice of disallowance. I'm telling you, Madam Chair, that the Vice President is yet to make an explanation to be submitted to your office, and you are waiting for that.
Yes, Madam Chair. That's
Correct.
why when we were subpoenaed, we explicitly
Oo nga.
mentioned that
So,
these are not yet.
Tama ba kung
final.
magtanong na ng magtanong ngayon habang ikaw ay hindi mo pa nare-receive kung ano yung sagot niya? Do you think I am correct in asking questions habang ikaw ay naghihintay pa lang ng isasagot niya sa iyong opisina? Tama ba ang gagawin ko kung magtatatanong ako ngayon?
Madam Chair, I can only speak po on the point of view of COA now. We have issued these, and the end, it's still subject to appeal.
Kindly wrap up.
Maraming salamat, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Salamat, Kong Jill. Next to interpolate is our Appropriations Chair, the Honorable Elisaldico.
Magandang araw po sa ating lahat. Nakita po natin kahapon ang part 1 ng video message ni Vice President Sara Duterte kung saan nililihis na naman niya ang mga issue. Talaga pong tatak Duterte na yata ang pambubudol. Mula sa peking war on drugs, peking good governance, peking pagkontra sa korupsyon, at ngayon, pekeng sagot sa mga issue. Una, simpleng tao lang daw siya, pero mahigit 400 bodyguards. Siya lang po ang kaisa-isang Vice President sa kasaysayan ng Pilipinas na may ganun kadaming security. May sarili pang Vice Presidential Security Group. Never happened in the history of the Philippines. Nag-iisa nga siyang humarap sa pagdinig ng Committee on Appropriations, pero sangkaterba naman ang bodyguard sa labas ng conference room. Humiling pa ng pagkain para sa 100 gwardiya na dala-dala niya at hindi naman kinain. Hindi po ba't pang-iinsulto at pag-aaksaya ito ng resources ng gobyerno? Pangalawa, sinasabi niya, hindi lang daw sanay ang ilang miyembro ng Kongreso na hindi makuha ang sagot na gusto nila. Karapatan at trabaho ng Kongreso ang pagbubusisi ng budget. Ang hindi niya pagsagot sa maayos na tanong at lalo pa ang hindi niya pagdalo sa hearing ngayon ay nagpapakita na kawalang respeto at paggalang sa mga kinatawan ng taong bayan. Hindi lang po kongresista ang winalanghiyan niya dito, kung hindi ang buong sambayanang Pilipinas. Tinatakpan niya ang hindi pagsagot sa tanong sa pamamagitan ng pag-iinsulto sa mga kongresista na ginawa lang naman ng kanilang mga trabaho. Gusto nila ang interbranch courtesy, pero siya mismo walang kortesiya sa Kongreso. Pangatlo, malinaw na pambubudol o panlilinlang sa mga Pilipino ang pagsasabi niyang kinikilala niya ang kapangyarihan ng Kongreso sa budget. Malinaw naman sa tao, live sa TV at internet, kung ano ang kanyang asal. Wala siyang sinagot ni isa man lang na tanong ng mga kongresista. Abogado pa naman siya, pero mukhang absent siya nung tinuro ang prinsipyo ng separation of powers at Kongreso bilang co-equal, kapantay ng sangay ng gobyerno ng ehekutibo. Batay sa ating representative democracy, ang mga kongresista ay binoto bilang kinatawan ng taong bayan. Kaya kapag ang isang kongresista ay nagtatanong sa paggamit ng budget, siya ay nagtatanong hindi lang bilang individual, kundi bilang kinatawan ng Pilipinong bumoto sa kanya. Demokrasya at hindi po tayo monarkiya. Wala tayong hari at reyna. Sunset na po ang dating administrasyon. Kaya wala pong karapatan ang ating mga halal na opisyal na umastang parang masasakupan niya lang ang mga kinatawang ng taong bayan. Pang-apat, paulit-ulit niyang sinasabi, I will defer to the wisdom of Congress. Pero hindi naman po ito totoo. Kasi kung totoo ito, sasagutin niya mga tanong ng mga mambabatas, lalo na sa issue ng confidential funds. Naalala ko last year, kinausap namin si BP Sara at ang kanyang mga trusted aides tungkol sa 2024 budget. Sinabi niya noong, ituloy nyo yan, meaning yung confidential funds, dahil kaya niya daw ito i-justify. Mabuti na lang at hindi namin itinuloy. Kung hindi, magsisisi kami dahil ang pondo ng taong bayan ang pinag-uusapan dito at tandaan, COA at hindi Kongreso ang nagsasabing mali ang paggamit ng 73 million sa 125 million confidential funds na ginamit lang sa loob ng 11 days. Talo pa po dito ang pondo ng Napoles Fund na gamit ng 60 days. Ito po, 11 days lang. And ngayon, bibigyan pa ba natin siya ng 2 billion na panggagastos daw sa mahihirap, ibigay po natin to sa tamang ahensya. Huwag po nating ayahan na waldasin na naman ang kahit pisong sintimo na dapat natin bantayan. Politika daw ang dahilan ng umano'y panggigipit sa kanya ng Kongreso. Nanunood kaya siya ng budget hearings? Nakikita niya kaya kung gaano kahaba at katagal ang pandinig at mga questions and answers na kinakaharap ng iba't ibang ahensya ng pamahalaan para i-justify ang kanilang budget? Why should the OBP be any different? Especially napakagaling magwaldas, maglakwatsa at mangurakot. Malinaw, diversionary tactic ang video message ni BP Sara. Tulad ng tatay niya, gusto niyang ilihis ang usapin sa tunay ng isyong kinakaharap niya. Ayaw niya kasing magpaliwanag. 125 million confidential funds spent in 11 days at nagsabi mismo ang COA na mali ang paggastos nito. Kung bakit kulelat ang mga batang Pilipino sa math and science sa ilalim ng panunungkulan niya bilang DepEd Secretary. Kung bakit sirang gatas, may insekto at inaamag na Nutriban ang pinamimigay sa mga mag-aaral. Kung bakit malala ang korupsyon sa DepEd at palpak ang kanyang panunungkulan dahil tamad at hindi siya pumapasok kahit minsan sa Department of Education. At higit sa lahat, kung bakit sa gitna ng lahat na kapalpakan at katiwalian, ito ay dapat siyang pagkatiwalaan pa ng 2 billion sa 2025.
Briefing suspended. Hearing is hereby resumed. Okay, so the chair now recognizes the Honorable Zia Adyong.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. Madam Chair, if there's anyone in this room that is most unhappy, discouraged, or saddened by the non-attendance of our Vice President, it would be me, Madam Chair, because I'll be the one to sponsor the budget of the Office of the Vice President in the plenary. I remember, Madam Chair, 2 years ago, when I was watching the Senior Vice Chair also doing the same thing, sponsoring the budget, I told myself, even if they forced me to take on that kind of job, I would not. And look at what happened. Now I do believe that karma is real. Madam Chair, at the start of the proceeding, since last week, from the moment I was assigned this budget that I would sponsor the Office of the Vice President, I decided, Madam Chair, to sit down, listen, and just understand where the members of this committee are coming from. Basically, I want to listen to both the members and as well as the position of the proponent, in this case, the Vice President herself. I decided, Madam Chair, to keep my peace all this time because I believe that through the exchanges of the members with the responses of the Vice President, I would be able to equip with the information, the data that I need, equip me with all the necessary information and updates and inputs for me to be able to sponsor and perhaps defend and to some extent convince the 300 plus members of this House that the budget of the office of the Vice President, as proposed by under the NEP, is valid, legitimate, and rightly so. So, Madam Chair, as we witnessed in the first committee deliberation, I felt that there's really a need for this committee to invite again the Vice President. In fact, I took the liberty, Madam Chair, of approaching the Vice President last week, immediately after the Senior Vice Chair suspended the deliberation, and after learning that there was no enough information that I gathered from the responses of our Vice President, I approached her while she was exiting the building and politely requested that, if possible, baka po pwede mag-usap ang aming opisina. And I asked her politely and courteous and with respect, and as a matter, just to be fair, she was polite and courteous when she responded. And up to now, Madam Chair, I'm still waiting for that meeting. Mr. Chair, I came from a culture that is steeped in tradition. I came from a minority Muslim community where tradition to us is not just convenience. It is a way of life. I agree, Madam Chair, that time-honored tradition of this honorable institution has a sanctity to it. However, Madam Chair, we must also remember that that tradition is born from a courtesy, from either parliamentary courtesy or inter-branch courtesy. Courtesy, Madam Chair, is given as a privilege. And as such, privilege is not given freely. It is earned. Privilege, Madam Chair, is both circumstantial and conditional, Madam Chair. But what I believe as a neophyte member of this House, what I believe, Madam Chair, is the primordial concern and duty of each and every one of us is to be truthful to the oath that we have taken and to be truthful to the duty that we have sworn to preserve, protect, exercise to the best of our ability without fear or favor. So, Madam Chair, I hope as a neophyte member of this House, I hope that we can probably proceed with this deliberation, although I am deeply saddened and feeling helpless in the coming days once the committee report will be delivered in the plenary, because I'll be the one again to sponsor and defend the budget of the office of the President. Madam Chair, before this manifestation, before the Senior Vice Chair recognized this representation to say my piece, I was listening intently to our Chairman of the Committee on Appropriations, Representative Zaldico. And I also happened to watch a clip of that video, the interview of the Vice President. And she said in that interview that part of the reasons why she did not respond to the questions asked by the members is that in her mind, only two persons actually decides the budget. Speaker and the chairman of the committee. Just to set the record straight, and this is not to side to either of the two, Madam Chair, it is unfair, to say the least, and misplaced, if you would ask me. That's a misplaced argument to put it that way, because we know that the budget is prepared by the executive branch. Before it lands on our doorstep, the executive in each agency proposes their budget to the DBCC, and thereafter they would have to defend that. And all the budgets that have been approved, many of the agencies' initial budget are not in toto reflected in the NEP that is being submitted to us, is defended by these agencies. So in terms of preparation, no member of this House is involved in the determination of the funds. When it comes to this House, it is already prepared, and it is decided by the majority of the members of the appropriation. To assign such power to two single persons is, to me, is unimaginable and unreal. This House, since 1907, according to Congressman Paulo, who is also a fellow neophyte, we always value the very simple truth in exercising the powers of the state through legislation, and that is majority decides, because that is the very basic definition of a democracy. In this case, in the budget preparation, nobody was involved. Members of this House, nobody was involved. And once it reaches this this honored institution, no person can decide on its own on how do we go about with the budget. It is the decision of the majority. It is the decision of the majority members of this House as a way of observing the very basic democratic principle. So again, Madam Chair, I hope you would wish me good luck, and I hope we can carry this over to the plenary. Maraming salamat po.
Salamat, Kong Zia. Of course, good luck, at syempre, hindi naman kita, tatabihan kita. Okay, and of course, before we call our last member, kukunin ko na rin ang pagkakataon dahil last year mukhang maraming nalito, na-confuse sila. Akala nila ako ang nag-sponsor ng budget ng OVP. Hindi po. Ang sponsor ko ay ang budget ng COA. Yun lang po. Nililinaw ko lang po. Okay. So, mukhang masarap ang lunch. Kaya, para lang matapos na ang ating budget proceedings, may I now recognize the Honorable Jill Bongalon.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just a final statement, Madam Chair. I went here prepared with questions to answer the Office of the
Okay, so let me withdraw that and instead recognize the Honorable Dante Marcoleta.
Salamat, Madam Chair. Pasensya na kasi nahuli ako nung tinawag mo ako, napaparating pa lang ako. So anyway, nandito na po ako. So I think I can still use my time, Madam Chair. Madam Chair, judging from the volumes of questions to the Office of the Vice President during the first hearing, I presume, Madam Chair, that considering that those questions originated from the 2022 budget Am I correct to presume, Madam Chair, that the budget of the Vice President in 2022 or the utilization of those budgets were subjected to a notice of disallowance?
COA?
Come again, sir. What's the question po?
Tinatanong po kayo kung subject, nagkaroon ng notice of disallowance noong 2022 ang OVP.
2022?
Yung
Madam Chair?
mga questions po kasi, Madam Chair, the way I understood them, 2022 ang origin, parang ang damdam ko, merong subject of notice of disallowance, yung budget ng Vice President, because of the type of questions asked during the first hearing.
Madam Chair, for the 2023, we have not yet...
22.
22.
Kasi nagsimula doon ng mga questions, di ba?
Based on the report of COA, Madam Chair, for the year 2022,
Nagsimula yung tanong yung 2022.
the audit team issued notice of disallowance amounting to 2,638,186 on April 5, 2022 pertaining to the engagement of private lawyer as legal consultant without the written conformity of the Solicitor General and the concurrence of COA. So that's the only ND or notice of disallowance issued during that year.
What about in 2023, Madam Chair?
For 2023, Madam Chair, there was no notice of disallowance issued to the OBP.
So why is it, Madam Chair, that most of the questions are being asked as though they do not believe the Vice President than when she said that she is already communicating with the COA?
Madam
I think
Chair.
the Office of Vice President, Madam Chair, is being audited by the Intelligence and Confidential Fund Audit Unit. Is that correct?
Madam Chair, if I may I clarify, what I have said about the notice of disallowance is pertaining to the transactions of the OBP, not for the confidential fund, because we are the audit team of OBP for the transactions to audit the transaction of the OBP, not the confidential fund. The confidential fund is being audited by the ICFAO, another office from the COA.
Yes, so the question is supposed to be for you.
Yes, Madam Chair.
Subjected ba sa Intelligence and Confidential Fund Audit Unit?
Yes,
Yung
Madam.
confidential fund ng Vice President.
Yes, Madam Chair.
So was there a notice of disallowance?
There was a notice of disallowance issued for the fourth quarter of 2022, Madam Chair.
There was.
Yes, sir.
Okay, Madam Chair, may I know the nature of a notice of disallowance? I mean the nature.
A notice is
How do you characterize a notice of disallowance?
a notice is disallowance is given for expenses disbursed. With it is a notification to the head of agency and or accountant informing and requiring the persons liable to restitute the amount of the disallowance that is a confidential expense disapproved or disallowed in audit, either in whole or in part, as a result of illegal, irregular, or improper disbursement or expenditure of such fund. Your
You
Honor.
call it IUEEU. Is that correct?
Yes, yes,
I
Madam Chair.
irregular. U is
Unnecessary. Your
unnecessary.
Madam Chair.
E,
Extravagant, Madam Chair.
another E.
Excessive po.
And U.
Unnecessary, Your
Una yung unnecessary. Unconscionable.
unconscionable po.
Okay, so you initially determined when you issued a notice of disallowance to the Office of the Vice President that somehow merong lumabas dun sa IU-EEU. Is that correct?
Yes po, Madam Chair.
So how do you characterize a notice of disallowance?
May I be clarified po on the question, Madam Chair?
I do not know how to simplify. How do you characterize? What is a notice of disallowance?
It is a notice po to the head of agency.
Okay. Is a notice of disallowance contestable?
Yes, Madam Chair. It is not a final
It is not a final
action
judgment.
of COA. Opo.
It is appealable.
Yes, Madam Chair.
Okay. What is now the stage of the notice of disallowance issued to the office of the Vice President?
Madam Chair, we have issued the notice of disallowance, and it was received by management on August 9, 2024. So they still have 6 months po, or 180 days
Correct.
to appeal po the
And
disallowance.
they are supposed to reply yet.
Yes po.
You will have to give them the opportunity to make a reply.
That is correct
To
po,
explain
Madam Chair. Yes po, Madam
how
Chair.
the budget was utilized.
Opo.
And that is part of due process.
That is correct po.
Meaning to say, there is no guilt yet until and unless you are able to receive the reply, the answer, and the explanation of the office of the Vice President.
That is correct po. And it has
Have you
been
received a copy?
of the reply po.
Yes.
They have not yet replied po
So you,
to the
yun na
ND.
nga eh. As part of the due process is notice. And the Vice President will submit to you an answer explaining, detailing how the budget was utilized. And you will receive that
Madam
in
Chair,
due time.
Madam Chair, if it is already a notice of disallowance, their remedy would be to appeal the notice of disallowance po.
Madam, ang sinasabi ko, wala pa nga eh. It is yet to be sent to your office. Is that correct? Wala pa siyang reply.
Yun nga po, hindi po reply ang remedy nila to the notice of disallowance, but an
Ano po
appeal.
dapat?
An appeal to the notice of disallowance.
Well, wag mo na nga. It's an appeal.
Yes po.
Sa aming mga hindi masyadong nakakaalam ng terminology, pwede ring reply. Reply is an appeal. Ngayon, ibibigay pa lang sa'yo.
Madam Chair, ang reply po is we presuppose na sa ICFAO po ulit, pero ang appeal po is with the commission proper na po.
Madam Chair, napakasimple po ng sinatanong. Alam po natin yun. A reply is supposed to be submitted to the commission proper.
Yes po.
Pero sa ngayon, hindi siya magre-reply kasi sasagutin niya muna kayo. And until today, hindi pa niya sinasagot because they are still within the reglementary period of 6 months
That is correct po.
to make an
That is
answer
correct.
to you.
That is correct po.
That is the nature of things, Madam Chair.
That is correct.
So wala pa siyang, there is no judgment yet.
That is correct po. And it has been emphasized po in the first hearing that the notice of disallowance
Kaya nga, if
is not yet
questions, for
final.
example, are coming from us, questioning and judging the utilization of the funds of the Vice President, when you yourselves, the rightful office, has yet to receive the explanation, we cannot be more popist than the Pope, Madam Chair. Is it correct?
Madam Chair, as we have said, on our part, the ND is not
No,
yet
you are
final.
not answering my question. Kung kayo nga tatanggapin nyo pa lang magsasubmit pa lang if we will be questioning it already from our end, we're like more popist than the Pope, Madam Chair. Am I correct?
I cannot.
Ikaw naman, ba't naman hindi mo masasagot naman yan, napakasimple. Kung ikaw nga, hinihintay mo pa dapat naman nating hintayin, that is the part of due process.
Yes.
Kami naman, naglulundag na kami na nagtatanong. Kaya nga ang sabi ng Vice President, narinig ko, I am already communicating. I am about to communicate with the COA. I think she will do that because that is the process. Hindi naman pwedeng hindi niya sagutin. Kaya nga po ang sinasabi ko, kasi ang dami na pong nagsipagtanong. Lalo na po nung unang hearing, naglululundag po lahat eh. So the nature of a notice of disallowance, Madam Chair, it is yet to be explained. Sa ngayon, hindi pa eh. Kung sakaling ma-explain, Madam Chair, at halimbawa, hindi nyo pinakinggan, the Vice President has the option to go to the COA proper for an appeal.
That is correct.
That is correct. And considering the appeal was dismissed, the Vice President can go to the Supreme Court. Is that correct?
That is correct.
So there
po.
is a whole gamut of process.
That is correct.
Will you
po.
confirm that?
That is correct po, Your Honor.
That is why, can you advise us, including me, whether we are supposed to ask questions, considering that you have not yet received her explanation to your office?
Madam Chair, I am not.
You cannot advise me?
We are not in a position to know the power or the prerogatives of the
No,
House of
I am
Representatives.
telling you already. I am telling you already because we're supposed to ask questions on the budget of the Vice President. But they started asking questions on the 2023 budget, which was subjected to a notice of disallowance. I'm telling you, Madam Chair, that the Vice President is yet to make an explanation to be submitted to your office, and you are waiting for that.
Yes, Madam Chair.
Correct?
That's why when we were subpoenaed, we explicitly
Oo nga.
mentioned that
So, tama
these are
bang-
not yet.
Tama ba kung
Final.
magtanong na ng magtanong ngayon habang ikaw ay hindi mo pa nare-receive kung ano yung sagot niya? Do you think I am correct in asking questions habang ikaw ay naghihintay pa lang ng isasagot niya sa iyong opisina? Tama ba ang gagawin ko kung magtatatanong ako ngayon?
Madam Chair, I can only speak po for on the point of view of COA now. We have issued these. In the end, it's still subject to appeal.
Kindly wrap up.
Maraming salamat, Madam Chair.
Right? Salamat. Next.
Quick interjection, Madam Chair. Just a quick one.
Proceed.
May we ask the representative of COA, did I hear it right, that the Vice President's office has not yet sent a reply about the notice of disallowance?
Not yet, Madam Chair, because as we have replied, the remedy is either to settle the disallowance or to file their appeal.
So there was no form of, there was no official communication yet from the office of the Vice President in reference to the observations of the Commission on Audit?
As to the notice of disallowance, there has been no communication yet.
I'm just
Madam
raising
Chair.
that point, Madam Chair, because if I remember it right, the Vice President replied all throughout the discussion that she has already communicated to the Commission on Audit.
Clarification, Madam Chair. The notice of disallowance signifies that it has already gone through a lot of steps before
Back
it
and
has
forth.
arrived at a notice of
Yes.
disallowance. So from the time that an AOM was
Issue.
issued, there have been communication with the Office
So
of
it
the
is
Vice
correct to
President.
assume, Madam Chair, that due process was afforded to the Office of the Vice President.
Yes, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Salamat.
Madam Chair.
Okay, pwede po kayo magpalista for orderly proceedings. We have
Madam Chair, this is in
Kong
relation
Ron
to...
Salo.
Madam Chair, this
Madam
is in
Chair,
relation to...
I'll just yield
We will-
to Congresswoman Roman.
Pasensya na po ha. Ililista ko na lang po kayo, Kong Roman. The chair now recognizes the Honorable Ron Salo.
Maraming salamat po, Madam Chair. But I'll willingly yield to Congresswoman Roman, Madam Chair, if
You-
it's all right with the Chair.
Okay, so the chair now recognizes the Honorable Geraldine Roman.
Madam Chair, just an observation during the interpellation of our esteemed colleague, Marcoleta. I would like Madam Chair, to remind our colleague, Mr. Marcoleta, Representative Marcoleta, that such terminology as nagtatatalon para magtanong are improper. To insinuate that my colleagues and us, who validly and willingly want to pose valid questions regarding the budget of the Office of the Vice President, is unacceptable. Hindi po kami nagtatatalon. We have valid questions. I wanted to ask valid questions, but of course nobody is here to answer them. Which brings me to my second point, that I was listening intently to the intervention of Representative Marcoleta about respect for tradition. And I agree that yes, there are traditions and courtesy is extended where courtesy is also given. And this no-show for me is not exactly what you would call a courteous gesture on the part of the Office of the Vice President. Nevertheless, Madam Chair, once more, I'd like to express my frustration that sinubukan ko lang po dumating today with certain valid questions, but wala pong tayong sasagot dito. Thank you very much, Madam Chair.
Salamat. And now, the Honorable Ranzalo.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair. I just have one clarification because same with Congresswoman Roman, I also have some questions to ask. But nonetheless, I'll be content with listening to the explanation perhaps of the Commission on Audit. Ang simple lang po yung tanong ko kasi at the end of the day, yung Commission on Audit, Madam Chair, sila po yung nagde-determine kung isang pondo ay nagastos ng mas maayos. But I wish to go back to the basics. Ano exactly from the point of view ng COA ang mandato ng opisina ng Vice President? Kasi at the end of the day, dito po sa mandato, mami-measure exactly kung yung bang mga pondo at ginagastos are aligned exactly with the mandate. So gusto kong maintindihan mula sa punto de vista ng Commission on Audit, ano po sa tingin po nila exactly ang mandato po ng Office of the Vice President? Maraming salamat po.
Madam Chair, as I mentioned earlier po, the mandate of the OBP is, one of the mandate of the OBP is committed to the service of the nation, which perform executive, ceremonial, and advocacy functions to improve the lives of the Filipino people. That's why some of social services were implemented, or programs for social services are proposed.
Maraming salamat po, Madam Chair. Follow-up question. So sa tingin po ninyo, yung mga proposal po ngayon, alay naman po doon sa mandato ng Office of the Vice President?
Based on the mandate of the Office of the Vice President, yes. Since the programs is consider social services, socio-economic services po, Madam Chair.
Maraming salamat po, Madam Chair.
Okay. So now we shall begin round 2.